The chaotic scene at a mass shooting in Brooklyn this week, where luckily no one was killed, reminds us that gun violence in America remains all too common. And yet Republicans continue to make it easier and easier to get a gun, with Georgia's governor this week, Republican Brian Kemp, signing a law that will allow people to legally carry a concealed firearm. And this is the part, without any permit. And Senate Republicans pitching a fit over President Biden's plan to crack down on untraceable ghost guns. Let's talk about this. Joining me now, Texas State Rep. Jasmine Crockett. She's also running for Congress, and founder and president of the National African American Gun Association, Philip Smith. So happy to have you both with me. Jasmine, let's kick it off with you, because 32% of Americans say they personally own a firearm. That's according to a 2021 National Firearms Survey. So this really means that more than 81 million Americans own guns. And this number only includes adults, that's over 18. You've said yourself that you're licensed to carry and you own more than one firearm. So realistically, we're not going to get guns off the streets. What's the solution to all this gun violence?
No, first of all, it's great to see you. But the reality is that we just need to be smart about this. It's not a matter of somebody being anti-guns or pro-guns. It's about being smart on guns. As you stated, I am licensed to carry. I do own firearms. I live in the state of Texas, and yes, I am a Democrat. But that doesn't mean that we can't say that people should be trained. We have children that are being killed. We saw what happened in St. Louis a few weeks ago with 2 children that were playing with a firearm. We need to make sure that people understand how to use firearms in a very safe manner and how to store those firearms. And they should just be trained in general. Texas passed a similar law. So, of course, Georgia and Florida want to follow Texas on this path where we passed House Bill 1927. And in that particular bill, they specifically said if you were over the age of 21, you did not need any licensing, any training, anything. Just go get your gun and you can carry it wherever you want to carry it.
Wow. Well, I think that was a good point for you to come in, Philip, because you just heard Jasmine lay out who she is. She's changing the face of gun ownership. I think a lot of people would be surprised. But I have to say, Philip, this makes me think, because we've seen a lot of protests with mostly white men dressed in camouflage. And I do wonder, and those men are like holding their guns in the air over my dead body. I do wonder if you see a bunch of black men in camouflage with braids, cornrows, locks, holding up guns in the air saying over my dead body, how quickly might we see some gun control in this country? I'm curious your thoughts on the changing face of gun ownership and how you feel about all of this.
Great. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, and also nice to meet the young lady on the other side of the screen here. To address that, the world is changing, and the U.S. is changing with that. The face of gun ownership is changing at lightning speed. Black folks in numbers, huge numbers, have joined the gun ownership family. We have over 4 million African Americans that have purchased guns in the last 2.5 years, pre-COVID and post-COVID. So the world is changing very, very quickly. You can't, I think, look at gun ownership in one particular vein. It's very multiracial. It's very mixed in terms of gender, and I think that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. And I'm curious, with your specific organization, are people joining and learning about guns and learning how to use guns for sports, for hunting, or particularly when it comes to black gun ownership, is it for safety, for self-protection?
That's a great question. We're not monolithic. Black folks across this country are buying guns for different reasons. Some folks want to competitively shoot. Some folks want to have a self-defense strategy at home in terms of having a gun by their bedside. It just depends. Some folks want to conceal carry when they leave their house. We're not monolithic, and we are very, very intuitive in terms of what we want long-term as it relates to firearms. And I just want to address, I think, a larger question. Because you have a gun, sometimes there's this, I don't know, this subtle nab or nab at some folks that when you have a gun, you're in some way a little more aggressive, you're a little more looking to have a fight. We're not. African Americans, we're buying firearms because we want to protect ourselves. We want to protect our families. We want to protect our loved ones. And I think that's a very good thing. We have over 15,000 Black women that have joined the National African American Gun Association in the last 6 years. And I think that's a great indicator of how the world is changing, as I mentioned earlier. It depends on how we move forward. That's the question. Are we going to move collectively together? Or are we going to continue the fighting that we've seen? At our organization, the National African American Gun Association, we take things a little differently. We have a saying, we agree to disagree, but not disconnect. That means if Jasmine and I are having a conversation, I'm obligated to listen to her perspective. I may not agree with everything, and in turn, she's going to listen to my perspective. That's how you make ground. That's how you make some headway instead of just sitting on both sides of the aisle, just throwing things at each other. I believe the country will be better suited by having conversations that are honest. And let's be honest, very tough at times. You might get angry at the person you're talking to. You might even, in fact, have a notion to punch them, spiritually. But you have to sit down and have those tough conversations regarding police, regarding Black women, regarding Black folks with firearms. And I think that's a better thing to do.
I will tell you, Philip, this Easter weekend, the Lord is still working on me on that one. I don't know how to meet bigots in the middle sometimes. But Jasmine, let me bring you back in the conversation, because the thing that's really blowing my mind, which I'm sure you can appreciate and have some perspective, you just heard Philip talking about having conversations with people on both sides of the aisle. When I saw the gunman in New York this week, that he was happened to be African American, and then on the heels of the Republican Party and some of the messaging they put out there, and I think could potentially run as like the law and order party. Can they really do that? Can the pro-insurrection party really run as the law and order party as they're making it easier for people to get guns? Your thoughts?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the hypocrisy never stops with this party. I mean, we know this, right? The party of freedom is also the same party that's saying, hey, women, you can't do what you want to do with your bodies, right? Like, I mean, the hypocrisy never stops when we start talking about the Republicans. But one of the things that I want to say is that being a gun owner and being Black in America is a little different, right? Because the face of gun ownership and the face of pro-gun ownership is the NRA. We saw what happened to Philando Castile, right?
Absolutely.
We saw what happened. And so we know that it's still a little different when we carry. And honestly, every time someone sees us, especially in a state like Georgia or in Texas, if they see us not even with a gun, I mean, when we were listening in before you got to us, we were talking about somebody that didn't have a gun and they lost their lives. And so this is the problem that I have. It's a matter of, we say that we want these laws, but these laws really only apply for a certain group of people. And so until we start to be real about what it is that we're trying to do, then I think we're going to continue to have issues, because as stated, I'm not anti-guns. But I don't understand what the problem is with red flag laws, right? Why can't we do background checks that are more thorough for everyone? It's a matter of safety, because as stated, I carry because I want to be safe. But I don't want all these other people out here that are doing things like what we saw in New York.
Absolutely. Well, I do not know how to use a gun, so I might have to make my way to Texas or spend some time with Philip to figure it all out. I know who to run to. When the war breaks out, I'm coming to one of your houses. So thank you so much to Rep. Jasmine Crockett and Philip Smith for being here for this very interesting conversation. We'll have to revisit it.